Joe, I happen to see a story about this the border plan, and I know that the guys in the afternoon have been talking about the Secure Border Act, or whatever they're calling it.
Secure the Border Act.
Secure the Border Act. There we go.
The GOP has put together because of their displeasure with Governor Hobbs vetoing some of their proposed bills.
Yeah. So they put this bill forward. Hobbs says, no, I don't think this is constitutional. Feels very racist-y to me. I think there are better solutions. This is going to cost us too much money. So she vetoed it.
Yeah, she's looked at Texas and she said, hey, Texas is running into issues here, and this is all tied up in the Supreme Court. We don't even know if this is legal.
Right.
We're not going ahead with this.
So the Arizona GOP says, well, let's go ahead and pass it, and then we'll let the courts decide if it's legal or not. Look, I don't know where you stand on it. I'm not really all that worried about whether you agree or disagree with it. I'm not real crazy about saying let's pass something and make the courts tell us we're doing something illegal, but in the meantime, we're going to keep doing it. That always makes me feel a little hinky.
There's 3 or 4 big prongs to it, though. One is that, so the Secure the Border Act here, it would make it a state crime for migrants to cross the border anywhere but at a port of entry. Did I read that correctly? Did that make sense? Yeah. So it becomes a crime if you cross anywhere other than a port of entry.
What if I'm on indigenous land? What if I'm on Tohono O'odham land?
Well, that, again, might be a question for the courts. That's the big legality issue there is it's kind of the, show them your paper stuff, too. Like, how do you know if somebody's illegal until you pull them over and suspect that they're illegal? And then,
and what would lead you to suspect that they were illegal?
Right. I mean, just because somebody can't speak English doesn't mean they're here illegally.
No.
Just because somebody's, pigmentation is a little darker than somebody else's, doesn't mean they're here illegally. So how do you lawfully do that? So that's the big one that has a lot of eyes raised. Another one.
Yeah, how do you do that without saying, show me your papers? Prove to me that you're legal, right?
Right.
Okay.
Another prong would criminalize undocumented Arizonans who submit false information to apply for jobs or public benefits.
Okay, I like that.
Do you? It has a big price tag associated with it.
Okay, how much is the price tag associated with that?
The Grand Canyon Institute has projected that provision alone could force taxpayers to fork over $140 million every year. Local prosecutors would have to identify and convict people found guilty of falsifying their info. And they've also said that the crime rate wouldn't necessarily, while it would be reduced, they've said that, undocumented offenders would go down, but criminal activity could actually get worse.
Why?
Well, because we're going to be looking for nonviolent undocumented offenders.
Oh, I see.
And if we're spending all our time looking for undocumented nonviolent offenders, does that allow some of the other ne'er-do-wells out there to flourish, whatever they're up to?
Sell more fentanyl.
There you go.
Right, which I know is another prong of this, right?
That is the third big piece of it, which would be to enhance prison sentences for people who sell fentanyl, and especially if it later results in an overdose death.
Yeah, well, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Not sure exactly what that would look like in terms of money. They're a little unclear on that point.
Well, I did see this, that according to the chief of the Arizona prison system, it could cost the state prison system nearly $252 million over 5 years to incarcerate adults under the terms of the proposed law that has reignited debate over Arizona's ability to control the border with Mexico. This is from the Republic. It talks about Department of Corrections, Rehabilitation, and Reentry would have to house anyone arrested for entering Arizona illegally, whether convicted or not. That's one of the many provisions. The agency director estimates the measure could add 1,500 people yearly to the state's already strained prison system. This is not including more people who would be in prison longer for fentanyl abuses. This is only about the people.
It's that first prong.
The first prong of this, right. And he's saying the added cost, as the agency is seeking an extra $74 million this year and roughly $203 million increase in the budget for the fiscal year next year. So anyway, he's saying about a quarter billion dollars a year. About a $250 million over 5 years. Over 5 years in order to pay for that. So
But then
That's another huge expense.
you've got people in the GOP and politics in the state, the Ben Thomas, the Warren Petersons of the world. They argue that they're going to save money by creating these deterrents here. And
Okay, great. What's the money being saved? That's all I want to know. What's the money being saved?
I'm with you. Some of their quotes: illegal immigration costs American taxpayers untold billions, they say. And
Okay, so untold is not an amount.
no, it is not.
And also, American taxpayers are not just Arizona taxpayers. So how much is it going to save us? Just show me the numbers. That's all I want to see. Because I got to tell you, I'm one of these people who's willing to look at this bill, and I don't like the racisty part of it, but I'm willing to say, look, okay, you want to do more enforcement around the E-Verify, you want to do enforcement around fentanyl, I can understand that. I might be willing to vote for a bill like this if you can get some of that other more abstract stuff out of the way. But if I've got estimates that are telling me specifically the plan is going to cost about another $325 million a year and cost the prisons another $50 million a year, and you got Toma telling me that we're going to save money, just show me where. Show me what the money is we're going to save.
Yeah, Warren Peterson. We will always fund public safety, obviously. You know what the true costs are? The true costs are the law-breaking and the insane amount of people. He then says, we are going to save money by creating a deterrent.
Those are not costs. Those are line items. This is like saying, okay, Joe, you ever take a look at a receipt?
Sure, all the time.
Of course you do. All right. You go to the grocery store and you buy
Cereal.
Cereal, milk for your cereal, and eggs for days you feel like something different. Cereal, milk, eggs.
Okay.
Okay. So if I were to say to you, Joe, how much did you spend? You would say to me then, I spent cereal, milk, eggs.
I would not.
No! You would say I spent
$30. I spent,
You buy a lot of cereal.
well,
Only child cereal, is that right?
milk and eggs. I mean, come on. I'm
Okay,
an
all
almond
right,
milk
very good.
guy, Chris.
Okay, I
mean,
got you. All right.
So I'm probably going to buy, $15 in cereal.
Okay, great.
Probably another 10 in milk.
Good Lord.
Eggs are expensive these days. That's
Holy
another
cow.
$5. That's $30.
Gosh.
I'm an egg whites guy.
But you would be able to say $30.
Yeah.
If I said how much did the groceries cost you, you would not say milk, cereal, eggs. You would say $30.
Yeah.
When we ask how much are we going to save on this, they say untold people pay taxes, big cost. We do other stuff. Don't worry, good.
And if I was to read between the lines of what Warren Peterson is saying, when he says we are going to save money by creating a deterrent,
How much?
no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I agree much more with you.
Okay.
If I was to take his side, I would say, might this deter some people? Yes, it might.
Sure.
It might convince those people not to come, but that does not save Arizona overall money.
I don't think so.
No, the Grand
I
Canyon
just want them to
Institute-
show me the numbers to say it does. That's it.
It's going to deter a few people,
Yes.
so it will save that money,
Yep.
but it's not going to overall save money.
So the money is starting to bother me here. Says, here's what I know about money. I'm worried about the illegal immigration. I'm worried about some of the strains on the system. That's where I think some of the savings is going to add up is strain on system. Just tell me how much. Okay, how much are we willing to raise our own taxes or cut another service that we enjoy in order to make all of that happen? You heard him say, oh, of course we're going to fund public safety. DPS is short 500 officers. Phoenix Police short 2,000 officers. And they all say that the solution is more funding.
Thanks for watching The Chris and Joe Show. Click to see more from Chris and Joe and tap the button in the middle to subscribe to KTAR News.